All right, good afternoon and good morning, wherever you partners are. My name is Patrick Chen, SE for Intelisys out of the South, and I will be moderating today's Supplier Illumination. So for the first timers that are joining us today, the Supplier Illumination is for our partners only, and it's our opportunity to shine the spotlight on suppliers to help you learn about them and hopefully get you excited to sell. So today's topic is SD-WAN. Now, before I go any further into some of the housekeeping items, I'd like to make some introductions to our panelists today. Today, joining us from Aryaka, we have Matt Carter, CEO. Thanks for joining us.
Thank
and
you.
We also, from Cato, we have Sean McCarthy, Head of Strategic Engineering for Americas. Thanks for joining us again, Sean. I know you were on here a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
So a couple of reminders really quickly. Next slide. I want us to take a moment to recognize and thank all the suppliers who have and will be participating through May. These are some of the folks here. The Supplier Illuminations are daily, every single day at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow, we will have cybersecurity sessions along with physical security with Open Systems and Year 6 with Ivan Painter. And then Thursday, we will be discussing SD-WAN and cloud with Cox Communications and QS Networks with Tom Laguerre. If you have missed any or you want to attend some additional webinars with some of our SPs, maybe covering selling cloud, security, etc., go to myintellisys.com, Intelisys webinars. Also, we are giving away a $50 Amazon gift card every single week until the last week in May.
You okay?
To be eligible, you must attend all 5 sessions each week to be entered into the raffle.
I'm a dumbass. I'm sorry.
I hear somebody. We might need to mute the microphone at some point.
Also,
make sure you download the documents on the right-hand side. These are documents that are given to us directly from the suppliers, and it's yours to keep. So make sure you take a look at those and definitely keep those for your own edification. Lastly, as always, let's keep this interactive. It gets more exciting and more fun when we have questions from the audience, especially the tough ones. I will do my best to bring those questions into the conversation, especially if there's a really popular question. So with that said, I know that was a mouthful. Let's get started. Aryaka, Matt, you guys are up first. So you guys are dear to my heart. I worked there for many, many years. So I'm very familiar with your platform, but I know there's also a lot of folks out there that may not know about Aryaka. So, in this world, there's lots of noise, lots of flavors, lots of competition. Matt, what is, in your opinion, what is Aryaka's approach to SD-WAN and what makes you guys special and unique?
Well, thanks, Patrick, for the question. Well, first of all, we believe that our channel partners can make money selling Aryaka. We feel that the space that we occupy, what makes us different, better, special, is that for enterprises that are going through the digital transformation activities, looking to either augment their existing MPLS networks or to replace those networks, we offer a range of offerings that allow those enterprises to make a compatible integration around using our SD-WAN product. So what we do, we help you to manage that. Most enterprises are faced with the challenge of, do I really want to manage this sort of service? If you don't want to manage it, you tend to outsource it to a company like ours who can manage it from end to end. By end to end, that means procurement of last mile and working with our channel partners to offering our core global offering and then to manage firewalls. So if you're looking to replace your MPLS networks, then you have a single source provider in Aryaka who can make that transition for you fairly easily.
Gotcha. So then, for some of the partners that may be interested in selling Aryaka, who's a good fit? What are some qualifying questions that you'd recommend?
Yeah, so I think that, particularly the partners who have historically sold MPLS networks to enterprises, and those companies, those enterprises that are going through, again, the sort of digital transformation activities, hey, we need to get a private network deployed someplace, in the United States or any place around the world, and quickly, we can go do that fairly quickly for a company. I think the real key questions as you start to probe is to, what are their digital transformation activities? Are they much more focused around cloud-based? Are they looking for application performance? And that's sort of where our sweet spot is. We help to enhance that end user application experience. So if you're finding that clients are having some degradation in their application experiences, a company like Aryaka can really come in and help juice that up, boost that up, enhance that end user experience. So at the core, are you seeing a lot of issues with your clients, particularly around application performance, cloud-based application performance? This is where we really fit in and can really help quite a bit.
Fantastic. Yeah. Let me touch on something that you mentioned a second ago. You talked about digital transformation, and that's a big initiative for a lot of companies these days, right? It's a very strategic conversation. But I also feel like a lot of partners and customers themselves don't really have a solid idea of what the definition of digital transformation is. Would you mind, giving us your opinion on what that means?
Yeah, that's a great question, Patrick, because it does vary, and there are a lot of different projects and activities that go around and making up that definition. But I think at the core is really around, are your clients focusing around trying to enhance their cloud-based application experiences? So if you have a lot of clients that are using Office 365, Salesforce, any of those sort of applications, and that they're trying to create a consistent application experience for their stakeholders around the globe. And what you'll find is that typically that application experience is not consistent around the globe. I may be over here using AT&T's legacy network. Over here, I'm using Orange's network. Over here, I'm using China Telecom's network. And so trying to get a consistent application experience by sort of stitching together all these various networks creates a lot of inconsistencies. And as a CIO of those enterprises, you find yourself getting inundated with a lot of requests. These are real pain points for CIOs. So what we see as the entry point in terms of the digital transformation, hey, how are your application experiences around the globe? How are your end users finding their typically application experience around the globe going? And I think what you will find is that there's an inconsistent experience, and that you'll find that there's a need, a desire to create a more consistent, high quality, reliable experience for all those stakeholders around the globe. And this is where SD-WAN comes in. A company like Aryaka can really help, because we can create that consistent experience around the globe without any degradation in one geography versus another, versus if you're working with a potpourri of different legacy network providers, you're going to get ups and downs in terms of the experience, and that causes a lot of issues for our partners and our clients.
Gotcha. Well, I will say, we don't get very many CEOs on the Supplier Illumination, so it's definitely a pleasure. And I wanted to take this opportunity to ask you, just from where you're sitting today, where is SD-WAN going? What's next around the corner for SD-WAN?
We feel we're in a great place. It's a growth market. And what we're finding now, with this unfortunate situation with COVID-19, as many companies are scrambling and trying to redeploy, and how do you accommodate work from home workers? How do you sort of create, hey, we got problems over here in this part of the world, can we deploy from here to there? That we're getting inundated with requests from customers around the globe. So we believe SD-WAN will continue to move down the path of becoming a mainstream solution for many enterprises. And it's created, and what it has highlighted is, particularly now as more and more people are working from home, and there's this desire for more cloud-based application access, that SD-WAN is actually now at the forefront. And so many of our clients are calling us up and saying, hey, can you help us out here? Can you go deploy your solution at this branch over here, this branch over there? And so what you will start to see, what has been happening, but what you start to see is an acceleration of MPLS becoming less and less of a customer's network assets, and that they're going to move more and more towards an SD-WAN solution. SD-WAN, Aryaka's, was architect for the cloud. MPLS was not architect for the cloud. And now what you're seeing, what we hear from a lot of our clients, are the limitations of what MPLS provides. It's not optimized for the cloud. So SD-WAN is. And so the end result of that is that you're going to see more and more and more enterprises moving towards SD-WAN. For your partners, your sub-agents, folks in your community, it's a growth market. And here's a chance to really continue to ride the wave of this growth, help you, help us make some money. This is now a chance. This is the California gold rush. That this is a chance to really go in and make some money and ride this wave of growth, because we see the demand. We're seeing it day to day, how more and more enterprises are looking for SD-WAN as a de facto private network solution vis-a-vis MPLS.
Gotcha. And then, yeah, and then those are very good points. I did want to touch on something too. I know that Aryaka has always played well in the international space. I think that's a big focus for you guys in the past. But we've also, on the Intelisys side, we've also been noticing that you've been focusing on a lot of regional stuff as of late, as evidenced by some of your regional bundles and your partner spiffs that you guys have been rolling out. Was there anything you wanted to share with the partners today around those items?
Yeah, absolutely. So look, any customer that you're working with around their WAN, we can accommodate that end to end. So when I first got here at Aryaka, perhaps our value proposition was much more on the global branch office. So if you're looking for open up an office in China, South Africa, Brazil, who are you going to call? Not Ghostbusters, you call Aryaka. And so what we tried to do is to broaden out our product portfolio and say that any of your branches, whether they're regional, global, last mile, we can handle all of that end to end. So now you have a single source vendor that you can put into your bidding process for with clients and say, we can handle all of your WAN, any place, anytime, anywhere in the world at an attractive price point that allows us to make money and provide a high quality service to your end user. Your NPS scores will go up in using our service with your clients.
So we have a question that came in. I thought this was a really good one. This is from Kevin. I've heard mentionings of SD-WAN as a solution for even a single location business. How does Aryaka address that?
Well, look, we typically like to minimally look at 5 branch locations minimally, just in terms of just the time and effort. But I guess it all depends. If there's a single location opportunity and there's some good upside for all of us involved, we'll take a look at it. We have done that in the past. Some customers have said to us, hey, we're going to give you a single location, prove yourself, and then within 30 days, oh, great, that worked out. Here's another 15 or 20. So, it's a case-by-case basis, but minimally we like to start with, say, 5. But if there's a real strategic opportunity to do 1 and it leads to some bigger opportunities down the road, yes, we can certainly look at that. But, we're not going to turn away business, but, we just try to economize our cost structure in a way that makes a lot of sense for you and for us as well.
Right. Yeah, and to add to your point, I mean, I think SD-WAN is different from traditional like MPLS solutions in that it has to be a specific location that you own, right? And I think in the SD-WAN world, I think Sean, you'll agree as well, Matt too, that a location can also be a cloud instance. Right? It could be Azure, it could be Salesforce, or an Office 365 solution. It doesn't necessarily have to be a physical location as well. So yeah, great to see that there's some flexibility there as well on the Aryaka side, Matt. Last question before we move on to Cato, just because of lack of time. Harold wants to know, who do you see as your major competitor?
Well, really great question. So we primarily see when we're going up for business, it's typically us vis-a-vis a legacy telecom company. We're a managed service provider. So, you can't compare us to, say, a box player. So we end up constantly bidding up against companies like, say, AT&T, Orange, those types of folks. And what customers like about us is that we're much more responsive. We're able to deploy quicker. We're able to provide a carrier grade service for them. The challenge, that we see, okay, there's AT&T, there's Aryaka. And so people say, I've heard of AT&T. How do you pronounce your name again? It says it's Aryaka. And so it's the brand name recognition. But interestingly, the bulk of our growth comes from existing customers. So they go and, leave, they go to another place, they bring us along. And so what we get is a lot of, our retention rates are extremely high. Our NPS scores are extremely high. And what we've heard consistently is that once people sample Aryaka, once they try you, they love you. And so for us, the typical competitor is the legacy telecom companies, that we see on these bids that we go through day to day.
Got it. All right, we're going to pivot really fast. Sean, I know you were here on with us on a few weeks back, and the feedback was pretty positive. So thanks for joining us again. Just in case there's some partners on here. Yeah, man, love having you guys on here. Really quickly, just in case there were partners on here that missed your last session, really quick, who's Cato and what do you guys do? What's different about your SD-WAN?
Thanks for the question. So Cato is a bit different with SD-WAN. We approach it from a bit more of a convergence area than purely SD-WAN only. So in case you haven't heard of Cato, we came into the market about 5 years ago offering firewall as a service primarily, initially offering kind of a Zscaler competitor out of the gate. We built a little network with POPs around the world and built a security stack into the network and saw that as a need really to secure locations. You must first connect them so you can control them again. And so we started out as kind of that and sort of backed our way into SD-WAN as we kind of saw a need for the edge to be brought into that same cloud security platform. And because of that, we've been talking for a while about how SD-WAN is more of a set of features than a standalone product offering, in our opinion at least. And it's kind of been proven out this past year with Gartner releasing their SASE hype cycle, talking about how that's kind of the next iteration of what SD-WAN will be. And so we kind of see that as where Cato fits, as more of a SASE player than an SD-WAN player, and SD-WAN being a key component of SASE, being that edge and global transport component. So Cato, we approach it from a different angle of security first, worked our way into the edge SD-WAN space, and put it all together as a single offering. So we have the edge SD-WAN with SD-WAN appliances. We have the long haul middle mile with our backbone and POPs. And inside the middle mile is the Cato security stack, which can totally replace your next-gen firewalls today.
Gotcha. Okay, well, let's dive right in. I know, something that's been on everyone's minds lately is a lot of the work from home situation. So it's pretty relevant. So in this time where the majority of the workforce are now working from home, what is Cato doing to help businesses pivot during these times?
Sure. We've personally seen, I think, a 3x growth in our daily concurrent VPN users since January alone. So we're hitting, I think, somewhere around 50,000 daily concurrent VPN users today. So Cato offers a platform for any of your resources to connect, whether it's office, a cloud, data center, or a mobile user. So we have the mobile VPN client called the Cato client. It runs on Windows, Mac, iOS, Android, Linux, and it will connect you wherever you are in the world to the nearest Cato POP. So you're going to find our network and get on net. So we've seen that go up quite a bit, obviously, with the need for work from home. And the key thing is that a lot of admins have been forced to choose in the past for mobile VPN solutions. You tunnel everyone back through your firewall, and they all get nice and secured, and they come back through your security stack and go through your policies. Or you let them split tunnel because that is going to be a better experience for them and will be less difficult for your firewall to handle, and then they have no security. So I know I sent you my board meme when I was at my desk last week of the guy with the choice guy, the rag. What do? Do you send everyone back and crush your firewall, or do you just say, forget about it, just good luck? And that's a bad choice. So we offer the way around that, right? So send everyone home with the Cato client. They all connect back to the Cato network. they can tunnel everything through that connection. No need to send internet separate. But they're not going to come back and crush your firewall. They're going to go through our security stack at one of our 60 POPs around the world, still go through your same policies as they were at the corporate office, but not affect your corporate bandwidth, your corporate firewall, any of that. And so it's the best of both worlds. And obviously right now it's becoming very popular.
Got it. So, Sean, we're getting some feedback from a lot of the partners out there. It sounds like we're having some audio issues. Is there anything you can potentially do on your end just to quickly address that? I know that's a typical question from the moderator.
Yeah, I hear you
sounds
fine.
like you're talking through a fan. Yeah, okay.
Oh.
We'll try and continue. Maybe it'll resolve itself. All right. Well, let's get a little bit more technical since I know you can handle it from your role here. So a good question right now, this is actually from Carrie out there. A big part of the conversations around SD-WAN is all about elasticity and ability to quickly reconfigure. So how do you guys address speedy reconfigurations for your customers?
So there's no need to push any policy with Cato because everything is being delivered from the cloud and configured to the cloud. By the way, is the audio better, Patrick?
Much better.
Okay, great. So the whole middleman process of syncing goes away, which is a big part of that slowdown. So not having to set a policy and wait for it to go to 50 firewalls and hopefully it gets there in the next 10 minutes or so. You set a policy in Cato and your single logical firewall is configured. Your single logical router is configured. So every session going through the Cato network, whether it's happening in California, Chicago, Tokyo, it's going to go through the same exact policy set right when you set it. So there's no real need to redeploy or reconfigure or template things out. Things are just handled like that via our cloud backbone.
Gotcha. And kind of a segue in terms of the technical conversation and what you were experiencing on the voice call a second ago. I think this is a common issue, right? Common complaint is sometimes the quality of voice and video for a lot of people from home is inconsistent. So what can SD-WAN do to address this? Did you just do something with your SD-WAN?
Well, my problem is my computer, whenever I do anything, it whines for forgiveness. So you were hearing my fan probably going. But yeah, we have a lot of instances of people from home needing help. Most of us are lucky enough, I am, to have 2 ISPs. So I can set up dual ISPs here and set up packet duplication, which is great for voice. We actually have a couple of our larger customers who, when COVID kind of hit for real, their most important and most key engineers got our devices for home. Not just the client, but actually got a plug-in Cato socket to plug into their office, plug their work laptop behind that, maybe their hard phone in behind that as well, and set up shop. So a couple dozen of their key engineers were set up with basically offices with Cato. They could plug in 1 ISP, 2 ISPs, use the QoS, leverage our POP infrastructure to make that internet traffic less relevant.
Gotcha. And then one last question just to be brought up. So yeah, I think SD-WAN in general isn't typically thought about as a home solution. What would be some compelling reasons or arguments on why partners should pitch SD-WAN to their customers for a work from home workforce?
So it's not a primary home solution. You're absolutely right. It's a great work from home solution, right? So the clients are easy to install. There's no real muss or fuss there. We can deploy it silently with an MSI, use your MDM to deploy it, and they're up and going. And then for your real key employees, it's a great lightweight solution for them because it really is plug and play. Our device out of the box is a DHCP client. You can plug it in behind your Comcast modem and it will connect to Cato. And you plug in your work phone behind that, your laptop behind that, and you're back at work basically at that point in time. So it really is a zero touch install for this kind of work from home scramble drill.
Gotcha. And then one more question from the audience. How does the VPN, Cato VPN or security stack compare with the VPN security stack of Zscaler? I'm sure you guys go up against them all the time.
Yeah, we see them all the time. I mean, I'm biased, right? I think it's better. I'd say if we're being honest, they're very similar. We've made a couple of different choices, but I think that we're going after the same things. They offer a good product. I think we offer a similar good product with, in my opinion, other things around it that make a lot more sense for a customer.
Got it. Got it. let's go back to some other questions that popped up. I think we're kind of now nearing the end, so we have some time for general Q&A sessions. Matt, I think a question that came in from Krista is, we understand that SD-WAN, actually this might apply to both of you guys, right? You have your own private network. A lot of times customers will say they want the capability of keeping their voice traffic on their own MPLS, and they don't want that on the internet. How do you guys handle this type of objection?
Look, we're very flexible. That's why we can create a hybrid solution for, our customers. And so there's an opportunity. Say some customers want that. They don't want to rip out their existing MPLS networks. They may want to augment it. And so what we've been able to do is to create an offering that allows customers to have the best of both worlds, if that's how they view the best of both worlds. Keep the existing and add to their existing networks. So we can accommodate either way, for the customer. That's what makes us so, I think, unique, different, and special, the flexibility that we can provide to customers on that front.
Gotcha. Sean, let me ask you this. Do you think it's even possible to do internet only, or will there always be a situation where you still need some type of private network?
I think MPLS is going away. I know that I might be in the minority there. On this call, probably not, but in general, the minority. You always need some kind of guaranteed path. That's not a lie, that's truth. But the way you accomplish that, it doesn't need to be through MPLS, right? So Aryaka, Cato, we differ on plenty of things, but not on this. We both created a backbone because we both think that the internet is fine most of the time, and that's not good enough for your business. So yeah, you need a guaranteed link. It just doesn't need to be MPLS.
Hey, Patrick, to add to that, and so I guess that's to me, one of the key messages for your community is that MPLS is going away. And so, and for those who are out there getting revenues and fees off of the MPLS gravy train, that business is being threatened. And so now here's a real opportunity for you to pivot, secure those revenues that you're getting today, and then move into some newer revenue streams going forward. The whole MPLS thing is, when you're going to replace that, you got to have last mile. You got to have the core that we have, and then you need a firewall. And so those are really, there's a lot of revenues in that sort of bundle. And so for, I think, the enterprising partner or agent, that, hey, here's a chance now to be aggressive. Here's a chance now to really get into the next wave of revenue growth for your own business. And don't get caught with going down with the Titanic. Going forward here, this is a new ship that can make you and make us a lot of money.
Got it. Great stuff, guys. No, I appreciate it. Any last closing statements? I know we're kind of running up against the clock now.
Hey, I'll just say for Aryaka, hey, we got an aggressive spiff out there. We really believe in what we're doing and what we're selling, and feel like we can help our agent partners make a lot of money. So take advantage of this spiff. It's the most aggressive spiff that's out there in the marketplace. And we want you guys to be motivated, evangelizing, and most of all, helping your clients to the successful transition over to SD-WAN with our service, and make money for yourself and your enterprise.
Got it. Yeah, and partners, we'll make sure I think that's been updated in the document section. So if you want to take a look at that, definitely check it out. Sean, any closing statements, closing remarks?
I'm an engineer. I have no spiffs for you. We do have spiffs for you. We have certainly have promos going for you. That's a Ron thing. However, I will say that we're looking forward to helping you guys and your customers through this interesting time. So give us a shout. Thanks again, guys.
Thank you so much for joining us, guys. A couple of closing items, just some reminders. Don't forget to look for the survey that comes out when you close your little webinar session. We do want to hear from you. It makes us better. So definitely let us know what you want to see. I appreciate all of you partners for sending in questions. There's some good ones in there for sure. And it's important to us to hear your feedback because you guys are our partners. Also, once again, Supplier Illuminations are daily, every day at 12 p.m. Eastern Time. Tomorrow, cybersecurity, physical security, open systems, year 6 with our Ivan Painter. Thursday, SD-WAN in the cloud with Cox Communications, and QoS Networks with Tom Laguerre. So once again, see you guys all tomorrow, and I hope you guys are all staying safe and staying healthy. So thanks again for joining us today. Take care, everybody.
Thanks,
Matt,
Patrick.
Sean, thanks again.
Yeah, appreciate it, man.
Take care.
Good job.